Hey everybody, Roxanbox90 here with another day of Cons of Tarkir spoilers, day 4. We got a whole bunch of really cool cards to go over today, so let's hop right in with the intro packs. Yep, we have our first 5 promo intro rares, and one of them we didn't know, the other ones we've already had spoiled. Sage of the Inward Eye, 2 a blue, a red, and a white for a 3/4 flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control gain lifelink. Alright, so the ability is not nearly as awesome as some of the other ones here. Ankleshanker and Raksha Vizier come to mind, but it is a 3/4 flying for 5, which is pretty good and limited. It also is nice because it works with the Jeskai style, where you're playing non-creature spells, all your dudes gain lifelink, where your dudes are stronger now, so you're going to be gaining extra life for each +1 as well. So that works well, and it's a fine card. I would say it's probably in the middle. It's an average here in terms of ability, with Avalanche Tusker being the worst, and I think Ankleshanker probably is being the best. Then here's just the different intro stuff. Then here, the launch, we're going to have Dragonthorn Tarkir. We've seen this card spoiled a long time ago, but here it is officially in good-looking HD art. Boom. 26 September. Gameday promo, we have Heir to the Wilds, which I think is a phenomenal card. I love this style design here on the art, and I'm definitely going to try to get some of these. They may not be constructed playable, even though 2 for 3/3 Death Touch, I think, does have a good shot, in that it's 2 for 2/2 Death Touch, which is fine, and then it scales. It may have some constructive viability, but at least in limited and in more casual F&M builds, it's going to be great. Utter End, we have a full art foil promo, which is going to be a top 8 card. Looks pretty sweet for those Commander players out there. This card is going to make waves in Commander, I think. It definitely has major shot of being played, even as a redundancy card. Then we have the Champion Gameday playmat, which is fine. It's not the best I've ever seen, but it's not horrible. And then the buy box promo for Rattleclaw Mystic. I personally like it a lot better than the real official set art. Then we have here our cards. Keru Spell Thief, 4 for 3/3 with morph of 6. Wow. Whenever it's turned face up, you counter a spell, and if that spell is countered, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost as long as it remains exiled. What makes this card so big, it's 4 for 3/3, which is fine, but the morph cost, I don't know who's going to be able to hold 6 mana open, but if you can, realize that the card you counter, you can play for free anytime for the rest of the game. In Commander, at least, this is a huge deal, and there are plenty of cards that see play as a 6 mana counter spell in Commander. It's completely reasonable. And that this card is so powerful, you get to keep, if someone plays anything, an Eldrazi or whatever, you can cast it for free at any point that you can play it the rest of the game. Very strong Commander card. I don't think it's there for standard constructed. In limited, I think it's kind of hit or miss. It might flip games, but who wants to hold 6 mana open? Maybe for certain control builds. But Commander, wow, it's a great card. Mocking Instigator, 2 for a 2/1 with morph of 3. Whenever it's turned face up, you threaten. You get to take a creature an opponent controls, and you get it until end of turn. Alright, it's fine. 2 for 2/1 is okay for aggressive builds, and threaten is always nice in limited. Not the best thing ever, but I do think it scales well. Meaning you play it as 3 for a 2/2, and then at any point you flip it up before combat. When your opponent plays a huge creature the turn before, you take their huge creature. I don't know if it's going to win or end games, but it's fine. It's a very reasonable limited card. Sage of the Inward Eye, we covered already. Crater's Claws. X and a red for a sorcery, deals X damage to our creature or player. With Ferocious, deals X +2 damage to a creature or player instead. Okay, so since you're usually going to use it when Ferocious is active, it's X +2 damage, which I think is really good as a scalable fireball. Yes, it's a sorcery, but in limited, it's a huge removal spell, and that's why it's a rare, because this card would be so broken. If you just look at Heat Ray, that hits just a creature, and that card is monstrously powerful in M15 limited. This card is also going to be a huge, huge limited bomb. Is it strong enough for constructed? The fact that it's a sorcery makes me wonder, because we've needed things like Bonfire of the Damned, that power level, to fit constructed. I don't know if this will be strong enough, but we'll have to see. Definitely unlimited, it's huge, and I think it's a fine card for Commander. Not particularly special, but fine. Clever Impersonator, though, now this is a sick card. 2 and 2 blue for a 0/0 shapeshifter. It comes into play as a copy of any non-land permanent on the battlefield. Wow, Wizards, the reason it's a Mythic is Wizards is taking the concept of clone and scaling it through the roof. What's weird is that they have here the classic clone image. Instead of having, you know, like a blurred image of an artifact, a creature, enchantment, like that kind of style, here it just looks like a regular clone. Okay, it's not particularly great artwork for the concept, but the card itself is bonkers. Being able to take, I mean, 4 mana to copy a planeswalker, 4 mana to copy an incredibly powerful artifact. It's fantastically powerful in the commander format. It's also great and limited. That's another reason it's a mythic. Fantastic and limited because you get to take planeswalkers, you get to copy planeswalkers, get to copy huge creatures, and I think even in constructed, being able to hit non-land permanents just for 4 mana, I mean, 4 for their best thing. Yes, you rely on the fact your opponent's going to have it, which makes it maybe not as good for standard constructed, but I do think it might have its place there. Mainly being said, this is a cube and commander staple. Amazing card. I'm sure the foils are going to look fantastic. And I'm going to go in a separate video. I have some speculation on the Planeswalker's Guide to Tarkir Part 1, which is up. We'll be going through that in the next video, so stay tuned for that. If you guys enjoyed today's spoilers, let me know by tapping the like button and putting your comments down below. And if you're new to the channel, check in and subscribe. As always, Roxbox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.